love and treat you right. Speaking of love, I'm on my way to Recoil to help unload a shipment, and I saw the 12 volt talk mention of me and Robot Underground, and I wanted to address it. You know what's funny is in my criticism of Big D Wiz, it's fucking accurate. If anything, it's really accurate, and I was really cognitive that day, and I went back and watched it, and there's a couple of jokes in there that are just insane killers, and I was like, wow, I'm really on my game. I was really in the zone that day, and to see Big D Wiz react the way that he did, or I should say respond, because he had plenty of time to react. Basically, Derek tried to paint me as some sort of bitter troll that hates on him, which is hilarious, because if you listen to the critique, again, it's right on, it's dead on, and I think it was a little too dead on for Derek. So you got to understand, because, well, let me backtrack a little bit. So one of the things that he tried to paint me was that I was a bitter troll. I was mad about some amps that he didn't test for me longer. That's not what it got me. You know what's funny is one of the things that did get me was when the old school audio channel or brand or whatever it is blew up on Facebook, and I posted something on there, and one of the moderators was like, you need to put your name, you know, make a little name card and the date and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, do you know who I am? I mean, I had one of those moments where I was like, motherfucker, I've been supporting old school for like 20 years. And so I hit up Derek, and Derek finally, I guess, talked to the moderators about it and said, let Patrick go. It's not a big deal. Because I'm like, I'm a trusted fucking vendor, man. Like, I'm not putting a fucking name tag on bullshit. Otherwise, I'm not going to support you guys. So, and it was one of those things where it's like, I've just worked really, really hard, and for people like Derek to not acknowledge me, again, it reminds me of when Biden didn't want to recognize Tesla. So the work that I've been doing is very innovative, and there's nobody else talking about things the way that I'm talking about. And I think that for me, in my perspective, the industry is ripe for criticism, all kinds of criticism. And so, but you got to look at it from Big D's perspective, and on the tail end of that 12 volt talk, you can see him basically talk about, you know, he was bitching about getting tons of views in India, but they don't pay as well. Like, what kind of fucking problems you got, man? It's just ridiculous, and it really put a, you know, if you go back to my criticism video of Big D Wiz, I actually just say you can do better. That's all. That's really what the end criticism is that you can do better. You're better than this. I was wrong, and I will admit that. Big D Wiz seems to be like a bitter little cunt, and is, what is it? What was he did some sort of warning. I wanted to do this video with his video so that I could reference certain points, but I find it amusing that these grown men, you know, are so childish. But I say that, but you got to look at what he does. It's BM spikes and old school audio. He's a child. They're both children, him and Roberto. And they figured out a way to sustain their lifestyle so that they can be children forever. And I think it's quite entertaining, but not in a positive way. That was the other one. It was negative. So somebody else called me negative the other day, and I was like, what the fuck is this negative shit? I'm like, I thought I was being really positive, trying to look for solutions and also for speaking up, right? Speaking up about sort of injustices and just sort of bias the way that, you know, Tony and Steve, you know, review their own equipment and then, you know, get mad when I criticize that. That's a little biased, meaning they're self-interested. They're going to give themselves a good review because it means money to them or it means views to them, and they monetize their views. I don't monetize my views. So it's not that I want more viewers because I want more money. That's not it at all. Again, I want to get out of car audio. I don't want to be in car audio. I want to go make movies for Tesla. And I've made that very present. I made that very clear with my video about Starlink Studios. And I could easily get offended by what Derek said. And I'm not. All it does is says more about him. So what I thought was really funny and really telling was the way that he was warning you, the audience. Like, what is he warning you guys of? Patrick says things about other people. Yeah, I think it's called an opinion, and for me it's about standing up and doing the right thing, and about talking about the bullshit and the monetization and the basically these guys are harvesting your attention for their own benefit, and they're just as bad as Kicker and Rockford and JL Audio and all those guys. They do the same thing. They're taking advantage of your ignorance and that you have nothing better to do. The other criticism that I had about the 12 volt talk was that is a creepy fucking telethon is what that is. They're staying on there just hanging out, doing nothing, talking about nothing. It's fucking boring. And then they get somebody donates something, which is insane to me that somebody would donate to that, but that's fine. But I did want to do a shout out to Joaquin, who I've done sales with for many years. And thank you, Joaquin, for bringing me up in the 12 volt talk and saying something. It requires people to talk about, things that are wrong with the industry. That's what's missing from 12 volt talk. The other thing is cursing. So, but it's like they're so focused on monetization. They're so focused on following Google's rules that they don't ever step up and do the right thing. Because it's easier. It's easier to shut up and take the money, right? And that's what everybody in the industry, as far as car audio goes, it's not just that our industry. That's in a lot of industries where it's easier just to shut up, not criticize anybody, because then you're vulnerable to their criticism. So, and if you remember in the Big D Wiz criticism video, I invite criticism from other people, right? Like I said, I hope it's somebody with some viewers, right? Not just to like one guy, or what was his name, Famous Moon, some idiot like that. Because I want to be better, and if you're accurate, and if you get what I'm trying to do to the industry, which is really just being a muckraker, that's really what I'm trying to do, right? You can go back to was it Sinclair? Yeah, Sinclair's book about the meat industry and how just fucking gross it was, and also the safety in America. Go back to those. Yeah, go back to the Sinclair books and think about what I'm trying to do. That's basically what I'm trying to do is stir shit up because it's wrong and it's rancid and it's gross and I think the whole industry can do better, and that's what I'm trying to do with Robot. I'm trying to make things better by exposing people to there's more ideas out there than just what somebody's selling. Now, if I have a unique product, yeah, I'm going to sell that. But I am constantly encouraging people to make relations on Alibaba, to import their own stuff. And so it's not like I'm just trying to trick you guys and take advantage of your ignorance. That's not what I'm doing at all. And that's what they're doing. And so that's my criticism on the 12 volt talk. And if you go back and watch some of the 12 volt talks, they're fucking boring. They're talking about nothing. But the problem is that they're the only ones doing it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like an oasis in the desert. But, people will drink in a Mirage if there's nothing else to drink. It's kind of one of those things. So, but anyways, my last criticism, of course, is of what's his name, Scott Dildo of Snap-on Tools. He got his little chime in there at the end of the 12-volt talk. He's like, he doxed me. I didn't dox you, dummy. All I did was point out things that are public and make a criticism of you, because you were ripe for criticism. What you were doing was wrong. You don't do that to someone. Now, if you want to, on your channel, right, if you want to say Patrick sucks, Patrick's only buying from Alibaba and reselling, then that's fine. But you don't come onto my ad and fucking badmouth me. That is wrong. And if you don't see that, and people don't see that, then there's a bigger problems. So, but yeah, I thought it was hilarious. Because basically, if you look at what Big D Wiz is, Big D Wiz is, or thinks he is, Johnny Carson of Car Audio. And then, of course, Robert is Ed McMahon. Yes, sir! And it's hilarious. I really have no opinion of Robert. He's the only thing special about him is that he put hi-fi in his name. That's about it. Other than that, he's a basic bitch and really shouldn't be listened to, because he's right there on the tit of these audio companies in order to cut out a living. Again, so he can support his shitty man boy lifestyle. That I subscribe to Jordan Peterson. I subscribe to doing the right thing. I subscribe to standing up, even and especially when it's unpopular, to say the right thing and do the right thing. They go, well, Patrick, you're going to get crushed. And I go, that's the point. That's the point, to get crushed. That's the point, to have a harder life, because it's easy to take the easy path and just take the money and shut the fuck up. I'm not going to shut the fuck up. Again, this is one industry that I can affect, and I'm going to. And the way that I'm affecting it is to keep people in fucking line from blowing smoke up people's buttholes and feeding them bullshit. That is wrong, and I don't want any part of that. And so if I can have a say, I'm gonna fucking have a say. God damn it. So anyways, I'm almost there. I enjoy you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much. Even the haters. Oh, I'm supposed to get over this guy. This is how people get killed right here. Right there. So many people in Arizona get killed all the time from trying to change their own fucking tires. Like, dude, you're a commercial truck. Call the commercial tow truck. Anyways, I love you guys. Be safe. And keep up the good fight. And again, it's not just me. Don't depend on me to do reviews and all this other stuff. Do your own homework and understand what companies are trying to do. They're out there to make money. That's what they're trying to do. And what's great about Recoil is they're the underdog, right? And until they're big, I'm going to support them. Now, when they get big and sell out and start selling you all kinds of bullshit, then we'll talk about that. So, but if you remember, Audioban used to be the underdog back in 2000. They had some really great product. In fact, a little preview for you guys that are grown man-child that want to look at the old school as if it's better than something. Audioban really had a unique moment there in 2000 to about 2005, 2006. And I found 3 of their product catalogs. So even with dealer pricing inside of them. So I will do a story time with each one of those, because each one is pretty big. It's worth its own video. It's very nice. So, but I love you guys. Take care of each other. And remember of what I'm trying to do. So I don't have any money. So I can't really execute on a lot of the cool shit that I want to do. So, but thank you for your support. Thank you for buying stuff. But just stick it to the fucking man. Tell people to fuck off. And take their fucking brand whoring somewhere else. So that's what you can do. So I love you guys. Talk to you later.